I'm Ira Hayes, and this is the first AirPod podcast that we're going to go talk about some technology, some entrepreneurship, and kind of what the current landscape of AI is right now. And I got my esteemed buddy, colleague, and passenger here, Estevan McCalley. So, how you feeling? We're about to go run off a cliff and see if we can't launch a big tandem paraglider. So you're just going to kind of work with me, and we're gonna go flying.
Let's do this.
So, all right, go ahead and take a half step. Woo! Wings up. All right, we're just gonna run towards the ocean. So, how you feeling?
Feeling awesome.
Feeling good?
Let's do this.
Going south. Woo! Cool.
Yes.
So what are you thinking right now?
Well, trying to get in this chair first.
All right, you are in your harness. Woo. Everything's been safety checked, and so we're flying, man.
Hell yeah.
Over Southern California. We got some acrobatics in the background.
What a
And
beautiful beach.
speaking of acrobatics, let's talk about AI drones. What's up? Like, are we in Terminator yet?
Yeah.
When are the Terminators coming?
Yeah. I mean, in certain parts of the world, we're using drones and drone swarms to drop bombs on people. And then, in other parts of the world, I just got back from EDC Las Vegas, Electronic Dance Music Festival. Beautiful experience, tons of drones and drone swarms in the sky, just making beautiful designs. So it really illustrates what we face here with AI nowadays, which is, with great power comes great responsibility. Like any new technology, it can be used for good and evil. So I like to think and try to influence it in a positive direction.
Okay, so that's a really good point. It's there's a lot of good stuff coming out of AI, and there can be used without some guardrails and stuff that kind of could be negative. And there's kind of this big unknown right now, which is where is AI going? And so what do you think are a couple things we should know about with AI and kind of how it's gotten to this point? So what should we know about like our current landscape?
Yeah. Well, when I think about AI, I think of it as humans augmenting our intelligence. And this is something that we've always wanted to do since the beginning of our species. And that's something that really sets us apart from the rest of the animal kingdom, is that we have the ability to learn new things, get smarter, and get super creative. So for thousands of years, people would trek many miles to go to centers of knowledge like the Library of Alexandria in Egypt to consume information available at the time. Nowadays, with the advent of the internet, we have these large language models and generative AI that are really great at helping us crunch vast amounts of data and help us be more intelligent than ever before and do things that were impossible just about a year ago. So I think it's quite inspirational. Yes, there is a potential for a downside. Yes, there are risks. And, we certainly have to be mindful of these and protect against these downsides. But all in all, I'm really stoked and inspired by what is possible. And I think we live in one of the most interesting times in history. And it's going to be really fascinating to see how these next few years play out with AI and all the amazing things we're able to do.
Cool. Well, you just you said generative AI, and that's I think what we're hearing a lot about. And, that's like ChatGPT, right? Like generative AI, because I hear this other term which is general AI, and I'm not. I think I know the difference, but I would like you to talk about the difference between generative and general AI or API.
Yeah, no, this is a great question, Ira. So, I've been in AI for over a decade now, and we have been mostly focused on what you would consider normal AI. This is AI before generative AI, and what's that all about? Well, that's all about prediction. in one word. So what we're trying to do is learn something about the past that's then going to be able to help us build a mental model, just like a human would, to then predict what's going to happen next, right? Now, with large language models, we're really just looking at a continuation and an extension of that paradigm. And what the large language model is doing is just predicting the next word in the sentence. But if you think about it, that requires a deeper level of intelligence to be able to predict that next word. You need to have broader contextual understanding of what's going on, and then you're able to have these robots or chatbots that we call them, that are able to interact in a very human-like feeling way, even though they're not human and ultimately just trying to predict the next word. It feels human, and it's certainly the case that they can really augment us like our co-pilots would.
Okay, so and that's kind of the agent term we hear, because we hear this agent, co-pilot, and those things that are helping marketers and the people down here that are building these massive houses run businesses better, and really like they're helpers, right? And so that's kind of the agent. And then there's a little bit, which we kind of started talking about drones, but these agents can kind of work together. Is that something that's coming or on the horizon, or is it here?
Yeah, it's this is something that's being actively worked on, and it seems like it's going to be the next evolution of what we're doing with these generative AI models, because it turns out that these large language models are really good at answering very specific questions, but if you start asking them very complicated questions and asking them to do very complicated things, you sometimes may not get always the best output, right? And so by using multiple agents that are connected together, passing inputs and outputs between themselves, much like a team of robots or a team of humans might do, now each one is able to be very specialized and focus just on one little thing and do it really well, and then work with teams of agents to then accomplish an objective in the real world, and sometimes even take action in the real world to help you meet those objectives. So this is very much something that we'll see be coming out at large scale to the enterprise within this year.
So yeah, and I'm seeing a little bit of that. So how do you know so much about this? Like, what do you do now? Like, you seem to be very ingrained in this conversation that we're having about AI and how big companies are using it, how it trickles down to all of us being a part of this conversation.
Yeah, absolutely. So, like I said, I've been in AI for over a decade now, and I have an AI tech email newsletter to help my readers stay current on this technology that's changing exponentially quickly, and it's very tough to stay current with. And there's so much hype, there's so much noise out there, and I really help my readers cut through the clutter at datagrom.com. You should all sign up for the weekly email newsletter. And currently, I work at Thermo Fisher Scientific as an AI strategist for our Generative AI Center of Excellence. And really, our mission is to help, ultimately, Thermo Fisher Scientific's mission to help make the world cleaner, healthier, and safer. And I think that's a great mission. It's something that, I can definitely get behind. And it's exciting to come in and help these folks start thinking about and applying some of these advanced techniques to their work to ultimately help us be more productive and help make the world a better place.
Awesome. And for those of what is Thermo Fisher? I know it's a really big company, but I think talk a little more about Thermo Fisher and what you're doing and how this is sounds like it's in your mission statement. So Thermo Fisher is a medical equipment, or what kind of company are they?
Yeah, mostly think about devices. So if you are going to sequence DNA, if you're going to sequence a genome, there's a good chance that you're going to do that on a next generation DNA sequencer from Thermo Fisher Scientific. So that's one part of the business. We also help support clinical trials and folks working on new and life-saving drugs and therapies out there. Really, there's a lot of fascinating work going on.
Awesome. And yeah, I've heard AI being a part of that conversation for sequencing, CRISPR, and things like that. So that's really cool. You're getting to really be at a company trying to do good with it, and so that's really exciting on this AI and kind of the new frontiers we're in right now. So what do you think? What would three takeaways be by anyone that maybe wasn't a subject matter expert? So like three things you could talk to someone about, or that people should look into kind of take.
Yeah, well, first of all, sign up for datagrom.com, weekly email newsletter. It's free. I'll help you stay current on a very fast-changing industry in the least amount of time possible. And you should also know that you should probably use it. Everyone should probably use it. Otherwise, you risk getting left behind. We're really transitioning into this world where there's going to be those that embrace this new technology and are able to stay current and stay relevant. And then there are those who will not. And, that's a precarious place to be, especially given that, we're predicting, and we're seeing this every day, that this is really going to impact every single industry, every single human on planet Earth. So if you haven't played with ChatGPT yet, I would highly recommend that you do that.
Okay, great. So use some of the tools that are out there, and I know we use a lot of it for multifaceted, and it's also becoming almost multimodal. Or is multimodal. I'm wearing sunglasses right now that are made by Ray-Ban and Meta. Kind of came together to make a real multimodal experience, and I keep joking around and asking it if I can eat what's in front of me, and it keeps saying it's not a doctor, but it's really interesting on this multimodal. Is that kind of to replicate how humans interact with the world, or what's the multimodal aspect?
Yeah, no, great question. So what are these large language models? So they're really based on neural networks, which is our human attempt to mimic our human brain. So what makes us as humans special is that we are truly multimodal beings. We're able to learn how to paraglide. We are able to learn how to do anything, and we're able to switch tasks frequently and be excellent at a very high number of different tasks. And we're constantly able to quickly pick up new, very complicated tasks. With large language models, so far what we've seen is that they're really good at doing very specific tasks. But where they struggle is when we start asking them to do things that require expertise or some kind of experience across multiple domains, and then being able to know when to switch from one domain to the next. So, for example, maybe if I don't know the answer to a question, maybe I should Google it, right? So I'll switch to a web search mode versus relying on my historical experience about what I think this thing is, right? So our quest with the large language models, as we try to make them more generally intelligent, means we're trying to make it more human and more multimodal so that eventually it will be able to think and reason more like us and be able to understand which tools to use at the right time and be able to switch back and forth and achieve all of the amazing things that we're able to do as humans.
Yeah, so that's really cool on the multimodal thing. I'm going to learn more about that, and it's really an interesting aspect. So it looks like we need to work with AI to help compound our skill sets and what we're doing, and use it for the benefit. And I've kind of heard there will be billion-dollar valuation company started and run by 5 people, and that seems to transition, help that transition. And so, just on a couple things, like what do you see as being very unique to humans for now? Like what is unique to us that you think that this augmented life, but what's unique to humans that we can focus on to continue to do better, and then help automate and do some other things.
Yeah, good question. I mean, so with our AI models, we're very limited to the experiences that we're able to use to train these large language models, which basically means the data available to them. As human beings, throughout our lives, ever since we were born, we're constantly amassing tons of data across many different domains to learn how the world works and learn how to interact with the world. And we don't even think about this, but this is what's really going on. A large language model, on the other hand, is, while it has access to very large data sets and whatever is publicly available on the internet, we still think about that. That's still a small slice of what's really available in terms of information out in the world that we have access to and that we've been teaching and feeding our mental models with, right? So, the ability to come out and fly a paraglider is something that is extremely complicated. There are so many different variables. There's so much going on that you have to keep in your head at all times. You have to keep the weather in mind, the wind direction, all the other different pilots. There's a lot going on, right? And this is the kind of thing that, because it does require reasoning across so many different areas, it's the kind of thing that's very difficult for AI to achieve at the moment.
Cool. Well, so that's man, I've learned a lot talking with you about this and interacting with you over time, and really feel fortunate to get to live at this period in history where you get to see so much happening so rapidly, and soak up some of the beauty while we're at it. Like this place here,
awesome.
Southern California, Torrey Pines Golf Course to the left, the glider port in front of us, where Lindbergh learned how to fly. So much cool stuff going on. I hope we can, keep this up and keep doing technology. So yeah, as we're getting back, we're gonna go try to land this gigantic paraglider. Woo. So if anyone ever wants to come fly with me or talk tech, do a little adventure, be glad to. Ira Hayes, you can find me pretty easily on LinkedIn, and because LinkedIn is a pretty good place to
I highly recommend it.
to meet up.
Thank you, Ira. This has been an amazing experience.
Absolutely, Estevan. And so, well, first, don't count your chickens just yet, because every successful launch in a paraglider must equal a successful landing, or you're gonna have a bad time. So
I think you got this.
I think I got this too. So thanks for the voice of confidence. And yeah, data GROM. So I'm definitely gonna go follow that and sign up to stay even more current than where I'm at, so we can learn, stay up to date, because I think that's the not fear, but that could be the Achilles heel, is if we're not utilizing and deploying and learning this stuff at the forefront right now, and it's not slowing down. So
yeah, absolutely. And I think for a lot of times it's overwhelming for folks out there, because there's so much hype also out there. There's a lot of noise. There's a lot of fear. It's kind of hard to understand, what should I be paying attention to? And that's something that I do my very best to do for my readers, and just really help filter out all that noise and make it seamless and easy for you to, spend 10 minutes a week and stay current on this thing that is impacting our world and everyone that we know. So check it out.
hitting a little sink here, but we're coming to land at and something about half the size of a football field, and should have plenty of speed to do so. So awesome. Well, thanks so much on for the learning experience, and let me try to get this thing onto the ground. Woo! That was an interesting one. Over this. Awesome. Thanks, buddy. Well, that was good. All right, so we successfully landed. So we had a great conversation about AI. Would love to share this with more people if anyone else wants to go fly around beautiful Southern California and talk their tech or talk their invention. I am adventurepreneur, as I call it. I do a lot of adventures and innovation. I love the startup kind of world and sharing that. So give a last shout out to what you're working on with your newsletter and all that stuff.
Heck yeah. Well, thanks, Ira. That was an amazing flight. Stay current on AI tech. Visit datagrom.com. Sign up for the weekly email newsletter. I won't waste your time. I'll just keep you current. Have a great day.
Awesome. Till next time.
Woo!